How's everyone going? Just finished work and I'm about to go to a dinner. So I was just hanging out in town before I went over there because I'm a bit early. Just walking on the beach here. You know, I don't think I would actually enjoy living by the beach. I think the sound of the waves would drive me insane a bit, to be perfectly honest. I filmed that over a week ago. I was actually going to add that on with another bit of video that I did later because it was incomplete, but I never got around to it. Since then, you know, it's actually been a bit of a rocky road. So that video of me walking along the beach you just saw, you know, things were going all right then, but since then things haven't been all right. There's been some struggles, to be honest, and that's, you know, that's going to happen. But the important thing is that you just keep getting up and you keep pushing forward, and you yeah, you know, you take responsibility for your decisions, and you push forward and you keep going at it. You know, a lot of my struggle I find when I'm trying to fight this kind of thing is, as I've said before, it comes down to rejection, like social rejection and that sort of thing, and the way that I handle it. And sometimes I don't handle it very well, especially with women, in that sometimes I try and talk to girls, and not all girls are interested in talking back. I mean, some are, but not all are, and that's fine. But it's interesting because I was thinking a few weeks ago, I was watching another guy's video who said he was talking to a girl and she had a boyfriend, or she didn't like him or something, and you know, he felt a bit down about it or whatever. And people were saying in this video, they're saying, oh yeah man, you should do MGTOW or whatever. And like, man, but what I wanted to say, and speaking from my experience over the last couple of weeks, is that not everyone you talk to wants to be your friend. Not everyone you talk to is going to be interested in talking to you as you are to them. And it's also the case when, you know, there are some people that are going to talk to you that are more interested in talking to you than you are to them. I mean, I've met some people in the past and I haven't really gelled with them personally. Like, I've been on a different level to them on a personality basis. I just haven't really connected with them in that respect, but they may be more connected to me than I am to them, and they may feel more inclined to talk to me, whereas I may be less inclined to talk to them. Not because I'm like mean or I don't want to talk to people or anything like that. I mean, I take time out for people that take time out for me. But you know, there are some people that I meet, I just don't really gel with on a personal basis. I don't really have that sort of connection that helps me grow a relationship to further, you know, to further levels and that sort of thing. Where there are some people that I meet that are like that. So, if that makes sense. So I think it's more of a personal thing, and I have to realise, and I suppose we all have to realise, if this is something that you also have an issue with, is that when you talk to people, you know, whether they're female or not, whether you want to just have a chat with someone, or you know, you want to take a girl on a date, or you know, whatever. The case is that you have to remember that not everyone is going to respond in a way that you want them to. And that's just life. That's just the reality of it. And that's something that I have to remind myself on the occasion, of course, because if I get too wound up about it and I get too upset about not being able to talk to people that I want to, or not being able to make friends with people that don't really want to talk to me. Maybe that sounds weird, but I'm trying to be honest. When I try to, when I try to be friends with someone that doesn't show an interest in being friends with me, sometimes I take that a bit too personal. But maybe I shouldn't, and maybe that's the issue we have. Because I think when people get too hurt about that sort of thing, or they get too upset, they just they shut off, or they take, instead of just taking a few bad apples out of the bunch, they get rid of the whole thing, which I guess is personally that's how I'm viewing topics like MGTOW and things like that, is that it's just if someone has a bad experience with a relationship or whatever, that therefore means that they should discredit all future relationships or all future people they meet. From my understanding, that's the way that I'm sort of understanding this sort of thing. But that's not the case. But I think my issue is that I, when I hit a brick wall, sometimes the way that I recover from that sometimes isn't all that. My method isn't very good. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say about that. I watched there was a movie on the other night called The Town, which is from 2010. I think it's a Ben Affleck movie. Affleck. Anyway, it's about, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but I saw it when I was on a plane coming from, I think it was from Europe to Australia a few years ago when I was coming back from a trip. I watched it on the plane, and then it was on the other night, and I hadn't seen it since, so I thought it would be cool to watch it again, since the first time I had watched it previously was on an international flight. That's how exciting my life is. That's what I do with my free time. Anyway, seriously. So I watched this film, and it's a film about a guy that he's part of this group that robs banks and armoured cars and that kind of thing. And throughout the movie, or throughout the film, he doesn't want to do it anymore because he meets someone. He meets a girl, and he falls in love with her or whatever. And as a result of that, he doesn't want to continue this lifestyle that he's got of robbing banks or robbing armoured cars. But in the end, at the end of the movie, he doesn't. You think that he's going to end up with this girl and everything's going to be all right, but in the end, he doesn't get the girl, and in the end, he loses his colleagues and that kind of thing. They die, or they get shot, and and it's just. And a lot of bad stuff happens, even though this guy is trying to do the right thing in the film by leaving this lifestyle behind. It doesn't favour him in the end in relation to his relationships. It still affects them negatively, and he doesn't, cliched to a movie where the hero usually ends up with the girl and they ride off into the sunset. It doesn't happen in this movie. And I suppose for me, it's like I'm trying to do the right thing. It doesn't always work, but sometimes I don't always end up with a profitable relationship with someone. I don't always end up making friends with someone that I talk to. Or if I talk to a nice girl, I don't despite the fact that I'm doing or despite the fact that I'm trying to better myself, that that really doesn't have any bearing against the outcome of a relationship or the result of a relationship with someone. I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe. Probably should have put more thought into how I'm describing it, but maybe you should watch the movie yourself and then you kind of get what I'm saying. But anyway, just thought I'll leave it there for the moment.